Hey, hello leaders, and welcome to a brand new week of leadership challenges. So this week we are going to be talking about leadership failure. And I'm just going to get right after it because I am tired and I'm recording this late Sunday night. I just watched the Super Bowl and I thought to myself, oh no, I haven't recorded the podcast for tomorrow. So welcome to life as a podcaster. You know, when sometimes you get ahead and then it catches up on you. But anyway, it was a great Super Bowl. I'm not a big Patriot fan by any means, but hey, they outplayed them. They played well, and congratulations to Tom Brady. 6 Super Bowl rings. That is ridiculous. So anyway, I hope their dynasty comes to an end sometime soon. And maybe that was the last one, but hey, they're tough to beat. You got to knock them off, right? So here we go. I'm going to hit the record button, and we are going to be on our way. Hello, leaders, and welcome to a brand new week of Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So this whole week, we're going to talk about the challenge of leadership failure and the impact that it can have on you, your team members, your success, or your future failure. Today we're going to talk about how leadership failure can impact all of your team members, sometimes positively, sometimes negatively. So let's think about failure in general. As a leader, failure, man, it can seem like a kick in the teeth at times because many days it seems like all eyes are on you. It seems like all fingers are pointed at you. And quite frankly, you know what? They are. Everyone is watching you. Everyone on your team, every team member that you have is always watching to see how you react and how you respond to different Every team member you have is watching you to see exactly how you respond to difficult situations, failure, and challenges. If you think for a second, your team members are not... Can't figure out this part in my outline. If you think for a second, your team members are not watching... No. If you think for a second that your team members are not watching you, especially how you react to failure, I'd say you have grossly underestimated your impression on others and the influence that you have on your team members. Your people are looking at you because whatever you do, they feel like they can do. Whatever you say, they feel like they can say. However you treat others, they feel like they can treat them the same way. And however you react to failure or bad situations, you know what? They just feel like they can act the same way. Now, it really doesn't matter if your team members agree with you or disagree with how you reacted to certain situations. They will keep that in their memory bank, believe me. And they'll keep that reaction locked away. And at the opportune time, man, they will use it. And it'll be like, bam, and they'll let it out. And then their response to you is going to be like, that's exactly how you responded in this situation. Remember back when? And they will be like, they'll have a memory of an elephant all of a sudden. So one of the most humbling experiences that you can have as a leader can come from the most unlikeliest of people. Sometimes young children can really put us in our place with their keen sense of seeing things in the simplest terms. Where we may tend to overreact tongue twister there. Where we may tend to overreact in certain situations, children have a tendency of focusing on what is right in front of them, not by overreacting to the situation, but they just move on and shake it off like nothing's happened, like they learn from it and just continue on. They learn as they go. They tend to forget very easily, and before you know it, they're just on to the next step. And before long, they've finished the task. Now, your team members can be the same way if you react to failure in a way that shows them that you are learning and moving on. Embrace failure for what it's worth. It's an incomplete effort. It's a do-over. It's a mistake. It's a learning opportunity. It's a chance to take full responsibility for your actions and learn from them. It's a chance to teach and mentor others a way of not doing something. It's a step in the process towards victory. Now, if you look at failure like that, man, your team is going to develop that same type of attitude. Now, of course, there's a different way to react to failure. You may choose to react by getting upset, yelling, screaming, taking it out on everyone imaginable, and not accepting responsibility. Ultimately, the choice is yours. But one thing for certain, your team members are watching you. So choose wisely and live with that choice. Your people will remember you and echo your lead, whether it's positive or negative. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. As a reminder, please check out our YouTube channel at Current Leadership Coaching. As a reminder, please check out our YouTube channel, Current Leadership Coaching, where you can watch the uncut, unedited video version of this show, and you'll get a little extra value each day. You usually get an extra story or a tip at the end. As always, thanks for listening, and until tomorrow, run to your challenges. Whew, that's going to be tough to edit all that down to 2 minutes. But here's the deal. Let me just talk frankly here. When we fail and we react negatively and we take it out on others around us, man, it impacts our team in a very, very negative way, because that's that trickle-down effect that you hear about. That snowball rolls downhill. If you're reacting, everybody underneath you in that chain of command or in your chain of command is going to feel like they have the green light to react the same way. So if you start treating people badly, or if you fail and you take it out on others, they're going to do the same way. If you fail and you yell and you get ticked off, they're going to do the same thing. And it may not happen right away, but someday they're going to react like that. And when you go to discipline them, they're going to throw it right back in your face. You know, this also brings me to a point of failure sometimes can be totally your fault. And when that happens, man, you need to own up to it. Don't try to blame it on somebody else. Don't try to blame it on the environment or the lack of resources. If you made a bad mistake, just own up to it. Your people and your team members will respect you for that. And you will earn more respect in that failure and owning that responsibility than you ever will by not owning up. So, one last thing. And this hits close to home, but you know, a long time ago, I failed at something and I started taking it out on other people. And that's tough. And it's tough to admit, but you know, it goes back a long ways. But I stood up eventually for that mistake I made, and ultimately, that mistake really is what made my mind up about getting out of the Air Force. You see, I didn't give one of my the people that work for me, I didn't give that person the correct information. And it ended up hurting his annual review. And, you know, there's not too many days that go by that I think about that, or I don't dwell on it because it was a mistake. I apologized to him. And, you know, I tried to make it as right as I could. I tried to fight for it. But ultimately, I was told that it was his responsibility. But the fact is that I gave him bad information. And, you know, I beat myself up on that. So we're going to talk about that later on in the week. But for now, move past your failure and accept it, own it, learn from it, and your people are going to see that, and they're going to respect you for it, and they're going to follow your lead. So hey, have a great day, and until tomorrow, run to your challenges.